Hey, everybody. Welcome to Angelina Uncut, where we dive deep into the darkest corners of humanity with zero filters, zero fluff, and all the fucked up truth you weren't ready for. True crimes, killers, cults, and cover ups. And we'll delve a little bit into the paranormal. So buckle the fuck up, because once you're in, there's no uncutting it. Let's go. All right. So let's talk about the man behind one of the most fucked up cults you've never wanted to hear about, but need to. This is the story of David Berg, the so called prophet who weaponized God, sex, and fear to build a global empire of abuse. And trust me, this dude was less Jesus vibes and more hell of a side of herpes. David Brantberg was born in 1919, and unfortunately, he grew up to be a real piece of work. Raised in a super religious, fire and brimstone family, Berg claimed he was chosen by God, which is cult leader 101. His mom was an evangelist who allegedly beat the Jesus into him. Later, he just beat the Jesus out of others. Berg bounced around as a failed preacher until the 1960s when he realized that if he just dialed the crazy up to 11 and added some sex appeal, people would follow him anywhere. And by people, I mean vulnerable, broken kids looking for purpose. That is prime cult bait. And what does every delusional cult leader do after finding a few loyal disciples? That's right. He starts writing letters. The Mo letters, Berg's long, rambling manifestos, were basically Tumblr for sociopaths. These things were packed with sermons, sex fantasies, divine revelations, and thinly veiled child abuse. And his followers, they read this shit like scripture. He preached about the end of the world, free love, and spiritual warfare. But behind the curtains, it was all grooming, manipulation, and unchecked power. Let me be super clear. Berg wasn't weird or misguided. He was a straight up fucking predator. Straight up predator. He systematically normalized pedophilia, wrapped it into scriptures, and called it holy. The Children of God, later rebranded as the Family International, spread across dozens of countries. Members gave up everything: homes, jobs, family ties, and in return, they got forced labor, isolation, spiritual gaslighting, and oh, you haven't heard about flirty fishing? Let me break it down. Berg encouraged women, sometimes underage girls, to seduce men into the cult by literally sleeping with them. Oh, it was like evangelism, but with a side of human trafficking. Some members had hundreds of flirty fishing encounters. Children born from these encounters were known as Jesus babies. Meanwhile, back at the communes, kids were being raised under Berg's twisted ideology. And that brings us to the name you're going to hear a lot in part two and three: Davidito, later known as Ricky Rodriguez. Ricky was the poster child of the cult. He was born into it, groomed to lead it, but he didn't stay silent about it. The story of Davidito was a manual for raising kids in the cult, written by Berg's Inner Circle, detailing and justifying child abuse. And yes, it was distributed. If you're not mad yet, you're not paying attention. This wasn't just some creepy old guy with a God complex. This was organized, weaponized trauma disguised as faith. Berg died in 1994, hiding out like a little bitch in Portugal. He was never arrested. He was never tried. He just faded away into obscurity while survivors were left to pick up the shattered pieces. But his legacy didn't die with him because what he built was more than a cult. It was a generational trauma, and it didn't end when he did. In part two, we're going inside the cult with the voices of the survivors, people who were raised in this madness. And one of them is someone I know personally. So we're going to break down what life really was like in the children of God. And a spoiler, guys, it was horrifying. This is more than history. It's still happening, and it's time to drag the truth into the light. Part 2 coming soon, guys, so make sure you like, subscribe, and stay unfiltered. Until next time, love, peace, and hair grease.